Greetings, sirs and madams. I'm Traffic Zero. I'm your resident Lance main, and we have some more Monster Hunter Wilds news for you. So there was another build of the game that was released to like a private event. So some people were invited to try out this new build, and from what I understand, the build has the changes that were added to the game based on the beta feedback. So yeah, so people were invited to go out and like try this new build. They had changes like weapon changes. They added hit stop to the to impact on the monsters, and the game seems to be just running a lot better on PS5. So yeah, like just everything's pretty crispy. A lot of people got to try out the changes. Everyone seems very happy like with the changes like so far. I haven't really heard anyone say a bad thing, like really. So yeah, everything seems to be going very well. A few of the people that were invited, very few of them were playing Lance. I know that a channel called Dark Hero, he reports back from using Lance. So what he said in his video was that the developers specifically noted that the new build has the changes that were from the input of the beta. But for the Lance, they implemented some of the Lance changes, but it's not fully done yet. So, like, we just have to keep in mind that whatever footage we see, it's not... yeah, this is really not the final product for Lance yet. It's not going to be fully done until the game's full launch at the end of February. So, while we have new footage that has some of the changes, we do have to keep in mind it's not completely done. From what we've seen so far, though, everyone seems to be very happy, like with Lance changes. It's things are feeling much better. It feels like the weapon's faster, more responsive, and doing more damage. And just pretty much everything we asked for is present in this build. So, yeah, they're still adjusting something. I have no earthly idea what it is, but we'll have to find out later. Dark Hero himself had reported that his footage of Lance had been corrupted, so he had to borrow from some other guy. That guy seemed to be a French player, and I just didn't really want to mess around with the French UI, so yeah, sorry frogs, we're not going to use your footage. That guy, yeah, I appreciate him working with this weapon, but he seemed to just be using the Lance in multiplayer, and he was just being tripped by everybody, and it was like, this is not appropriate Lance footage. So yeah, Lance doesn't seem to have super armor against other players yet. That would be a really smart thing to add. So hopefully they're adding that like in the final build, but yeah, we can't look at that footage. So yeah, so what I have here for you is some footage from a channel called V-Jump, and we've looked at V-Jump's footage before. So yeah, I really like this channel because, yeah, they always have like super crispy, high quality footage, and yeah, they're generally like fairly talented at playing the game, and yeah, no annoying voiceovers. They just do all their stuff by text. So yeah, like very helpful for me. So this video here, I'll link it below for you guys to check out directly. He uses several weapons. We're just gonna look at the Lance parts today. He's doing like competently with the Lance. I'm not fully convinced if he's a Lance main or not, so yeah, either these are his first runs and he's just not very practiced against these monsters. That's okay, because it's just a preview event. Like, or yeah, he might not be a Lance main because he's you know, he's whiffing some stuff. He doesn't seem to be trying out all the features. Like, he's just kind of doing his thing, and that's fine. Yeah, that's enough for us to glean some information. So yeah, what we're gonna do here today is, yeah, I'm just gonna go through the footage. I'm gonna let it run. I'll stop it where it gets interesting. Yeah, obviously the UI is in Japanese, so I'm gonna have to run some Google Translate for you. I'll just have to describe what the text says, because yeah, that is an unholy amount of editing that I think I'll just describe it for you guys. But yeah, this is gonna be a little hard on all of us, but we're Lance mains, so yeah, when life's hard, we're harder. So yeah, let's go. All right, I'm gonna let this run, and yeah, I'll just stop it wherever we see something neat. so this looks like the introductory cutscene where we're introduced to the Chemitrese, the spicy fried chicken, and he's after these palicos, or these cats, for stealing his meat, I guess. That was a huge piece of meat. That was bigger than Alma. Okay, so V-Jump puts a note here at the bottom. He's basically saying that charge counter can be activated at any time using R2 and circle. These are PlayStation controls, of course. Yeah, so you can use R2 and circle to enter charge counter state at any time in your combo. It's interesting that they kept the name from the beta, charge counter, instead of calling it counter cancel like it used to be. But yeah, you basically mechanically have the old features, but with the new name. He also adds that when you are in Power Guard, you can use triangle and circle to use this new attack. It's called Full Force Return Thrust, and you can use it out of Power Guard, and you can also use it out of a Perfect Guard. Yeah, so these are the new ways to use the new attack. Yeah, we previously didn't know its name, I think. So yeah, so in this footage, he's going to be using Full Force Return Thrust a lot. There's two different variations of it, so yeah, we'll have a lot of different chances to look at it here. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep going. Guard dash, leaping thrust, that's still one tick. Yeah, let's go back and look at that Power Guard. Alright, so while we're in Power Guard, Power Guard's right here. Okay, our options in Power Guard are triangle's leaping thrust, circle is the big return thrust. You know what, chat? In Japanese, is the word return the same as the word they use for counter? Yeah, I might just say counter instead. Yeah, so big counter thrust. And then triangle and circle is the new attack, full force return thrust. So, yeah, beforehand, when they first announced these changes for Lance, I was curious to see, hey, they added this new attack, but how are they going to add it? Because like all of our button combinations are taken up already. So apparently what happened was they completely dropped one of the old moves that was in the beta, the one called follow-up lance charge. The one where basically you do a stab and then you go into lance charge, like an amped up version. And it was basically just like a high damage distance closing tool. So that move seems to have been dropped completely from the moveset. I have not seen it being used in this new footage at all. I think it's gone. So that's a really interesting choice, because yeah, I actually used it a ton in my speedrun against Arkveld. It was actually fairly useful against him. And then that kind of means you can't do a lance charge out of Power Guard anymore, which that means you don't have quite the same distance closing abilities from Power Guard. This was desirable in some ways, because let's say you're doing a regular guard or a counter guard, and then you get stuck into some really heavy knockback. You block a huge hit. So in the hit stun, you can cancel out of hit stun into Power Guard, and then do your follow-up. Depending on the positioning from Power Guard, you might need to close distance again. So often what you would want to do is lance charge out of Power Guard, but now the buttons don't allow that anymore, like at all. Maybe there's a new thing that we don't know about, but yeah, it seems to be gone, like from this build. So that's to say, yeah, you have some, like one of your main distance controlling tools is gone from Power Guard. Of course, there's a billion different ways to enter lance charge from the other stances, but yeah, this is gone from Power Guard now. So now you have leaping thrust as a distance closing tool. It's fairly shallow. The reach is okay. And then you have full force return thrust, or full force counter thrust. So it seems to reach very far forward. Like, we'll see it a lot in this footage, but it does have that back hop that it starts with. So that's going to give it some timing weirdness if you're just using it for closing distance, but But yeah, that's kind of what you have out of Power Guard now. So that is a very, very notable change. I can't really say if it's good or bad yet, because, you know, I just don't have my hands on the thing. But yeah, it is a very notable change to keep in mind. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going. He just got pecked in the face. There's a full force return thrust. Yeah, so did you see? You can actually use full force return thrust. Yeah, he actually used the back hop to get out of that small attack. So you can use the attack even though a monster's attack doesn't connect with the shield. Yeah, you can use it in its regular form, but when an attack does connect with your Power Guard, it changes the full force return thrust. Let's see if he uses it. He's getting spun on. There we go. Okay, so an attack has connected with Power Guard. So if you look at the options now, there's a modifier on full force return thrust in the middle, and that says full force return thrust pierce. So yeah, if you have an attack connect, yeah, that's gonna modify this counter. I'm not exactly sure what happens to it, but yeah, the animation seems like really amped up. It's gonna do more damage. I'm not really gonna have an explanation of how it does that extra damage. Does it, like, is it just more motion value, or does it change the how the hit zones are affected? I'm not terribly sure. He actually doesn't use it there. He uses the counter thrust instead. Yeah, big counter thrust. Okay, counter cancel. Actually, that might be something we could check out. Yeah, so he does a full upstab combo here. Yeah, so that was something we were worried about in the beta. Like, upstabs were dramatically slowed down in the beta. And yeah, so it might be back to its old attack speed here. I can't quite tell. We can compare it to some forward thrust, but it looks like it's sped back up again. Yeah, that was something I was really worried about, because yeah, the upstab being slow felt so terrible that I just stopped using upstabs completely. He's using that one a lot. Like, I actually sort of feel that the big counter thrust, I don't think I like it. Yeah, it seems to be like a lot of time commitment for not a lot of payoff. Just drilling some damage into this chicken. Okay, full force pierce. Wait, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so we see a forward stab and an up stab. So I think he hits the same hit zone. So we see the speed of the forward stab and the up stab is about the same, but the up stab gets slightly more damage. So I think it went back to the way it was before. So the attack speeds are the same, but up stab should have more damage. That was good. Yeah, guard dash cancel. Oh, and a side sweep. It looks like it's still very high motion value, so that's cool. Here's the lance charge. It actually starts from neutral, so it actually looks much better now. Like, lance charge was very slow in the beta, and it looks like the startup speed is very good now. Yeah, I kind of want to see what the damage ticks are like, but yeah, it looks like the startup running speed is very good, and then it gets to the amped up version fairly quickly too, just a few steps. Yeah, that's much better now. Holding power guard very long. Yeah, that's gonna drain your stamina while you're holding the stance. Like it's gonna punish you for bad timing. Oh, that's a good focus attack. Man, that did chicken. Okay, so we're gonna. Yeah, I know there's a lot of insect glaive beans out there. Weapons looking very strong. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and find some more Lance footage here. I believe he has a run against Kongalala. Very hard to see with all these little monkeys around. He just starts sweeping them, just get rid of them or something. Is it just me, or like the shield run part of the focus strike is... Yeah, it's like whiffing or something, or it's just the damage is not connecting? Yeah, a little weird. Yeah, she does a lance charge there. It didn't look like a lot of ticks came out of it. Yeah, wait a second. So, your silhouette, like... So, obviously you have silhouette against large monsters, but I guess silhouette doesn't activate against small monsters? That could be a problem with all these crowns. Yeah, the Kongalala, it's not a very big monster, so you have to position well against it. You basically have to stay in front of it and hit him in the head. Yeah, his head and maybe his claws, but yeah, the hind legs, not very good. I wonder, did that count as a power guard? Or a perfect guard? This is guard. Oh, that is very fast. Okay, let me frame this. Okay, so that says... Yeah, this is a perfect guard. So out of perfect guard, your options are... a return thrust with triangle, a big return thrust with circle, and full force return thrust with triangle and circle. Okay, so this is not the pierce version. It's just regular full force return thrust. Okay, so that means only power guard can activate the pierce of full force return thrust. That's interesting. Okay, so if you do it that way, you'll incentivize people to use Power Guard more, but there's kind of less reason to use Perfect Guard now. Like, it should, you know, it should have, like, no stamina weirdness or timing, like that Power Guard does, and then, I think it should take less chip damage. But yeah, like, it's desirable to use Perfect Guard because you do get access the full force return thrust fairly quickly, a lot faster than Power Guard, but yeah, you don't have the super strong version. Well, and the bottom option, it should be a guard dash. So yeah, let's keep going. Oh, this monster is so gross. Why did they have to bring it back? You know what, if they're going to give us like an arachnophobia filter, can you give us like a poop filter? Yeah, just change it to like, you know, a cloud of like flowery fragrance like, or something. Like, yeah, maybe I'll have to get the PC version and they'll mod that in for me. Okay, full force pierce. That would have been a time to block. Ugh. Well, that dead monkey. Yeah, that went pretty okay. Yeah, learned some things there. Okay, so here's a hunt against the Uthduna. Like, I was really looking forward to this monster, so I didn't want to see any spoilers on it. I have been avoiding watching any hunts of it, but I guess we have to watch this just to report on some updates for you guys. So, oh yeah, the sacrifices I make like for running the channel. So, yeah, he's gonna be using switch axe for like the first half. But yeah, we're gonna go over to the lance parts. I've got some crazy morph attacks on that switch axe now. Okay, here's the lance part. Yeah, so Uthduna, it seems to have this, yeah, whenever all of its fins are out, like, it gets, like, some type of, like, guard state or something. Like, you get blue numbers with, like, blue shield icons on it. I'm not terribly sure what that means, but I'm guessing something like, it's not a good hit zone, like, or something. Or maybe it's a shield that you're trying to break. Like, I can't quite tell. Anyway, for Lance, it does slash damage. It seems like the ideal hit zone for Uthduna is going to be in its stomach. And the V-Jump player here, he keeps hitting it in the head, which, yeah, like, the shield attacks, like, do impact, so yeah, that's a good choice for hitting it in the head, but, yeah, your actual Lance thrusts, yeah, just hit it in the belly instead. Yeah, I got some pretty good damage out of focus strikes. Yeah, we're gonna give chase to Uthduna here. It, pretty spry for such a, a big animal. Here's some neat stuff, like, yeah, the Uthduna, it can, like, do some tidal wave stuff, so you have, like, the wedge beetles up there to get you out of the way of the water. Yeah, there are those, yeah, like, shielded damage numbers. I'm guessing... Man, I cannot see anything. Yeah, I'm guessing you're gonna want to avoid hitting it in the fins. Oh boy, yeah, like, the water pushed him away, so he missed his counter thrust there. Yeah, it's looking like it might be difficult to position against this monster to, like, get to around its front legs so you can hit it in the stomach. There, full force pierce. It seems to have caught the fins though instead of the stomach. Well, good counter into a power clash. Take that fish. You like fish sticks? Got a wound on its stomach there. Okay, full force pierce. It seems like the reach on full force pierce is so far that it actually goes past its stomach and into its fins, so yeah, maybe that's not a good choice. Yeah, it looks like Uthduna has like a kind of like a around the world like type thing. It's gonna swim in the water where you can't get to it. Oh boy. Yeah, I mistimed it. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh, and that's the end of the footage. Alright guys, well, there's V-Jump's footage, but like, we learned a lot from this, so... Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So the new attack seems very good, and the way you activate it is, yeah, you just get it out of Power Guard. That's pretty... the most reliable way to get access to it is just Power Guard. Power Guard is... it's a little... I've always found it like a little clunky to activate because, you know, you have to do like counter stance first and then Power Guard. But yeah, if you have an attack connect with Power Guard, you get the Pierce version of the new attack. It looks like you can also activate Full Force Counter Thrust from Perfect Guard. It is not the Pierce version, however. So yeah, I'm kind of glad they made a differentiation there. I wish they would give you more incentive to use Perfect Guard. But yeah, like, that does give you a lot of incentive to use the Power Guard also. The Power Guard is stated to have this property where, like, as you absorb damage, your follow-up attack it gets amped up and does more damage to the monster. So yeah, I'm wondering like what type of modifiers like you'll get, like how much more damage will it be? And then I guess now that we know the perfect guard and the power guard, like full force counter thrust is different. Yeah, there's not really a way to compare them. Like of course, like the uncharged version for power guard, it'll just be the same, like probably. But yeah, like hopefully there's good incentive to use perfect guard. I really want them to reward that good timing, but yeah, maybe it'll just be like yeah, whatever. Like I'm actually kind of concerned that people will just kind of stick with what they know and just use the counter cancel a lot. I'm glad that it's back because it's very fast and it's very fluid, and it gets you back into your regular counter very quickly. But what you're getting out of counter cancel is, if you connect it, is you're just getting a mid thrust or a high thrust. So yeah, it's good for getting back into your counter fast, but if you had used your other cancels, like if you had used a perfect guard cancel, you would get access to a full force return thrust instead for more damage. And then if you land that full force return thrust, you should be able to get instant access to one of your finishers. So that just seems a lot stronger compared to a counter cancel. So yeah, maybe people who want to use perfect guard cancels instead, they'll be rewarded with more damage. And then, of course, you have the choice to power guard cancel to get access to those tools as well. And then also, yeah, you can't lance charge out of power guard like under this build. So yeah, that's going to be a very interesting change. So yeah, we'll see like how that's handled. Alright guys, well, yeah, that's going to be it for V-Jump's footage. We learned a lot here. If you guys know of any other channels that are covering this build of the Lance, I would be very interested to see that. Yeah, you can just drop their name like in a comment below and I'll go check it out. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys checking this out with me. The Lance changes seem very, very good. And it's not even done yet, so I'm wondering what more they could possibly do, but basically everything we wanted out of it is there. Like, I would just, you know, add some new things to just make it super spicy. Like, I would add some sharpness management, like to its moveset, and maybe I would like a really strong anti-air move, so I just don't have to use flash bombs or something if I just want to hit something high up, or there's a tail I want to cut, but for some reason all the monster posters, they just hold all their tails like straight up in the air. That's a little annoying, but yeah, like Lance is looking very strong, and it's not even finished yet, so yeah, I can't wait to see what it's like in the final build. So yeah, you guys can yeah, just definitely keep me updated. Let me know your thoughts on what we've seen so far, and then let me know if you've seen any interesting things anywhere else, like about Lance. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys checking this out with me. So if you could leave a like on the video, I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can see future content. I'll provide whatever Monster Hunter Wilds news I can. And then, of course, I'll be live streaming my full run like of the game. I'll be like lancing it, of course, at the end of February. So yeah, we'll just be doing all that, making like individual like hunt videos and making lance guides, all that type of stuff. But alright guys, I think we're good for now. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.